What's up, guys? One Koala Man here, bringing you episode number 51 of our fairy tale reviews. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to hit that like button down below. Be sure to comment your answer to the question of the day, and follow me on Twitter, both which will be in the description down below. Also, be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel, because I welcome every single one of you, new and old, to the channel with wide open arms. So yeah, get that subscribe button a little touch. And with all that said and done, guys, let's get this mother underway. Alright, so we start today's episode off with the squad inside of the guild hall, just bored out of their mind, and they can't really find a job because there is none that really, like, you know, make them interested. There's none interesting enough for the squad, and Natsu is still fairly salty about not being able to get that treasure of, like, embarrassing pictures of everybody from the guild. And then Lucy just says that, oh, I just want a job. I just want to do any sort of job. And Natsu is just saying, well, let's do a job then. And so he figures out a job. He finds one on the request board. And Lucy gets this, like, feeling inside of her, like someone's been watching her. And we see, like, behind her that someone's just peeking in, looking right at her. And she looks back, and of course the person is gone. So Lucy's gonna go home and, you know, ready up for this job for the next day. But she's walking home with my boy Blue, walking on the edge of the river or whatever, canal, and you know, people on the boat still saying that she's gonna fall off and all that stuff. And this guy is still following her. Like, this guy is being a major creep at this point. And Lucy actually finally sees the guy, and she's like, oh my lord, this guy's actually following me. And then she turns around and he's standing right there, like right in front of her. And turns out that this man is Lucy's father. And last time we seen Lucy's father, he was in a 4-story mansion with like a huge acreage of land. And now he's like in raggedy clothes. He's got long hair and a beard. He's looking very scraggly, whatever that word is called. Scruffy, that's the word. He's looking very scruffy. And turns out that somebody bought out his company. And now he's pretty much homeless at this point. So he doesn't really have anything left, and Lucy's all Lucy's worried about is her mother's grave. And Lucy's father, I don't know his name, so I'm just gonna refer to him as Lucy's father or Lucy's dad, but whatever. Lucy's dad, like, gives her a note and says it's been moved here, and I'm guessing, like, he gave her the note to tell her where it is in Magnolia. But his real motive for being in Magnolia is because he's going to this town called Khalifa or something like that. He's going to Khalifa because he wants to, you know, go to the merchant guild so he can just pretty much start over. And that's pretty friggin' messed up, because he built his company from scratch and it was taken away from him, and now he needs to start all over. And he's asking Lucy for help, you know, financially. But Lucy doesn't have the finances to be giving out money to her dad, even though it is her flesh and blood. But he's asking for 100,000 jewel, and that's kind of a lot. 100,000 is not a small number. But they get in an argument, and it just ends off, like, you know, on a sour note. Her father goes on to his way into the town of Khalifa, and Lucy goes on to her house. So Lucy gets to her house, and Natsu and Happy are standing on guard because, you know, they were making sure nobody suspicious would come to her house. And then they see, like, you know, a little bit ways down that somebody's peeking at Lucy, and turns out that it's Gray, and Gray wasn't. So Natsu and Happy assumed that Gray was the one stalking Lucy, but he was just making sure that nobody was following her home. And he did a terrible job because her father was following her home, and he didn't do anything about it. So he's a terrible, like, follower, I guess. He's like a terrible whatever bodyguard. And then of course Natsu and Gray get into a fight as usual. So it's the next day, and the squad is ready to go out on their job, and Lucy overhears Wakaba, Makao, and Mira Jane talking about, like, some merchant guild, which is the merchant guild is what Lucy's father was gonna go to. But anyways, they're talking about this merchant guild in Khalifa getting attacked by a dark guild called the Naked Mummy. First of all, that's a stupid name for a guild, but I mean, it's a dark guild, so whatever, I guess. But she overhears this, and she's assuming that, you know, her father's there. So she's kind of conflicted on what to do. But seeing how is her father, she decides to go out to Khalifa, and she finally makes it there, and she's like, okay, there's like a bunch of guards blocking, like, you know, the merchant guild, and she tries to get in, but she can't. I don't know why she just doesn't tell the guards that she's from the Fairy Tale Guild, but she just takes it, and she goes around like to some rock or whatever, and she asks Virgo to like dig a hole, like a tunnel, inside the building. And so she's finally inside of this merchant guild, and all the people are just being held hostage, and the Naked Mummy like guild or whatever is like stealing all the money and, you know, trying to get the heck out of there. But people aren't making it easy for the Naked Mummy guild to get it out of there. And so they see Lucy, and now it's Lucy versus an entire a majority of a dark guild, and of course her celestial spirits are helping her, and she somehow manages to beat them. All of those people got beat by Lucy and her celestial spirits. So kudos to Lucy on beating a majority of a dark guild. So everybody's like congratulating her, saying thank you for saving us and all that, you know, all that stuff. And she's looking for her father, but she can't find him. And then he manages to come. But here's the thing. Okay, so he had to walk all the way there because he didn't have the finances to get a ride to the city of Khalifa. So she made it there before he made it there. It was just a bad luck on her part. But luckily, her father wasn't in there. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. And he made it to the town of Khalifa safe and sound. And Lucy's still actually pretty mad about her father yelling at her and like asking her for money and begging her for money and all that stuff from the night before. So she just starts leaving, and then we learn a little bit more of a backstory behind her. And we find out that the Merchant Guild, the Love and Lucky Merchant Guild, is where he wants to work. That is the same place that he used to work back in the day, and that is where he met Lucy's mother. I don't know if she was pregnant then, but that's where they met. They had Lucy and all that good stuff, and they decided to name her Lucy because the Lucky inside of the name, like inside of the Love and Lucky name, the K was broken, so they just looked at the sign and it said Lucy, so that's why they named her Lucy. And I thought that was a pretty interesting, pretty unique idea of why to name their child Lucy. And it's good to get a little bit more backstory of like her mother, because I like to learn a little bit more about her mother, because, you know, she's dead. So I want to know what she did when she was alive. But Lucy and her father have a bit of a heartwarming moment, and then the squad finally gets there. The squad is always like bursting in. Like when she left to go see her father at the mansion, they came like busting through. And now that she's in the city of Khalifa talking to her father, they're busting through Khalifa to talk to Lucy or to find Lucy. And then we move on to the Naked Mummy Guild, the actual guild hall. And it's like in the middle of a desert area. I mean, hence the name Naked Mummy. But some of the people are getting like interrogated and all that, saying like, why haven't you brought the money? How else are we supposed to give the Irration Seis like their money for, you know, our protection? So we need to find out who the Irration Seis is. I'm guessing this is leading to the next arc, so I'm happy about that. And we need to know what connection they have with the Naked Mummy, which I'm sure is not really that important, because the Naked Mummy Guild, I mean, I don't see them being of much importance in the future. But that about does it for today's episode. Alrighty guys, you already know I don't like to end off without a question of the day, and finally we are going to have a regular question of the day. So in the comments section below, answer this question. What is your favorite store to shop at? It could be Walmart, it could be Target, it could be Kmart. I freaking despise Kmart. I don't know why I just said that name. It could be Sam's Club or wherever it is. It could be Fry's. Well, Fry's might actually be like a 2-something, but I don't know. What is your favorite store to shop at? Mine is Target and JCPenney's. I love those stores. I love going there for clothes. They always have good deals, and they're just awesome. And Zumiez. Zumiez always has good deals, and they have good looking clothes for usually reasonable prices. I always look on the sales rack. I'm a cheap kind of guy. I'm a cheap kind of guy, but that's just me. But leave your answer in the comment section below. And with all that said and done, guys, as always, keep it cool.